All right, good morning, everyone. If you're here, please type GM and let's start the day. Welcome, everyone. Morning, Rana, Eski, Aisha, Aaron, Liza, Gerkem, and everyone else. All right. Good morning, everyone. Thank you. So let's rewind today. What have we done in the previous week? What are some concepts that you remember? Any word, any phrase, any info, any practice we have done, what do you remember? What do you remember from the previous week? We did some rewrites. Yeah. Was it a rewrite or did we do a hedging activity? Of course, that required rewriting the sentence. It was hedging, yeah. And then we talked about maybe search engines and conducting research. Again, reliability and information and media literacy. And we tried to write a bad rephrase, right? Yes, that was the first thing I remember today when I asked you this question, unfortunately. And we tried to understand whether a sentence, a statement was a claim, evidence, or was it a commentary on the previously made claim, right? Like, yeah, that hedging was also supported with academic tone rewrite. So we did the hedging, we added a little bit of academic tone to it, and then we were done. And we finish it off with asking random questions like this. A reliable source usually shows emojis, references. Yeah, we did similar questions all together, and then we finish it off with AI videos, right? Today, do you know the topic of today? Have you checked before coming here? And can you believe, excluding this week, you have only 4 more weeks before finals? Do we have a lesson on the New Year's Eve? Probably we will have. And maybe we'll have another like national holiday and we might have 3 weeks together too. I don't know. I haven't checked. But after that, we'll have our final. Okay, today's topic, we'll be using others' ideas. Like we are getting a bit more into detail with citations and references, and we are still on the paraphrasing part of it. Starting from next week, we'll do uh, real citations and references session altogether. Okay, let me open up my book and we'll go from there. Any questions before we start? Anything you want to say? No? All right, cool. So first, we have some keywords we need to remember. Critical reading. Um, okay, please fire it up if you have a question. Somebody said it during like with a direct message. But in the meantime, we can tell these keywords. So, critical reading. It's an approach to reading that requires you to ask questions and think carefully about the quality of information presented. Actually, I believe for the last 10 weeks now, for the last 9 weeks, and including the exam review, etc., we can say that we are doing our readings more critically. Now we have critical lenses, right? So before we decide whether something is reliable or not, we had some things that we look at. And we check if the citations are correct and the references given are reliable, depending on the format and the source of this resource. Okay, the question is this. Final topics are from the does the final exam include the topics before week 8, right? So probably not, but it's like I think it's a whole. We cannot separate it from one another, but I will see. I'll check it. Maybe before finishing today, we can take a look at the syllabus altogether, and then we can have some ideas together. And paraphrase, you know the paraphrase. Now, like there will be some words that you know from your heart after this course, and paraphrase is one of them. Citation is another. Reference is another. Reliability is another. Literature review is another. No. So again, a direct message. No, we are not doing the unit 8. It's all in the syllabus. Since you asked, the syllabus is here and we are following this. We did exam review, finding evidence, using others' ideas, and referencing in citation next week. And then I deleted one of the topics. I don't remember which one, but you'll see it here after today. And in the last week, we'll do, so maybe we'll do formatting and review of all topics, plus mock exam if I see fit. I don't promise, but I can do a mock exam. Revision technique. Okay. That should lead it. You see my screen, by the way, right? Just to make sure.
Yes, Professor. We can see.
Yes.
Can I have a question though?
Yeah, sure.
Was the passing grade 60% or the class average? I think I've seen.
Okay. Yeah, class average. We have a curve. So first thing, I think it's all in the syllabus. Like that's a very common teacher phrase. Yeah, finals are accounting for 60% of the passing grade. Midterms were 40%, midterms and makeups for the midterms. And you have, if you fail the final exam, you have the between lemma, which we call as again makeup or reset exams. So yeah, 40% plus 60%. And the average, if your score is in the range of standard deviation of the average, like 10 points below or above, then you pass. If it is below 10 points of the average or 12 or 11, it depends on the standard deviation of the um, like the final grade. Okay. Now we can talk more about it before we finish off today or right before the breaks. You're welcome. So we have referencing, that we like I've asked this in the midterm exam as well. It's about including the details ranging from the name, like first letter of the name, the surnames, the year, the title of the source, and then the pages in the journal, journal volume, and journal issue, followed by maybe the link, the unique DOI, I don't know how to say it, DOI link. That's what we call referencing. So skimming is to take a quick look at something and gather a few basic ideas before revisiting in detail. So this was in the 8th unit, so we don't focus on that. It's a reading strategy that requires you to preview the text, formulate questions, and then read and make notes and then review to monitor your understanding. Yeah. Okay, so first thing to look at is note taking. Let's imagine that you are conducting a research or a literature review, or you have a presentation to make, and before that you have to collect some data from the internet. You need to read a few sources, maybe a book or a chapter in a book, or a journal article, or a government document, anything written, right? And then you need to take some notes. Do you have any special strategy to take notes? While reading? Like, do you underline and make a little notes on the paper, or do you do it digitally, or do you collect all your notes in a single place, or do you use AI to make notes for you and then you study for them? Write down keywords from that lesson in my notebook. Okay, you're talking about let you try to fit my notes on a single page. Perfect photographic memory. Cool. So for the projects or for the lessons and sessions, it might be like you are dealing with less data. But when it comes to literature review, you are reading, even for a homework, at least three different sources, right? At this point, you need to take some notes, and your notes should be effective. And there are some questions to think before, like while making notes, taking notes. So, do you actually need this information? If so, which parts? Will you really use it? How and when? Have you noticed similar information already in any other source? And what claims do you want to support with this information? So your notes should be brief, and you should have the main ideas, put your pen down and continue reading. Okay, so what I can suggest is actually So if you are doing, let me write it over here. Okay, like if you're doing a literature review and you need to read lots of different sources, then there's a software like it might be your like it might be labeled as your own digital library. Mendeley, Mendeley. So basically, it's a desktop software which scans all of your PDF documents on your computer if you allow for it, and then you create a collection like thesis papers or homework, and then you put your papers there, and you have a more neat, like you have a neater place to look at your sources there, and then you can take very simple notes on your articles, on your books over here, and then like you have everything in place. This is especially useful when you are dealing with more than a few sources. And if you want to do things a bit more brighter, let's say, and before you like you have the option to see the preview of the selected article here, and then you could have tags, etc. Leaving this aside, I also use OneNote, and you know that I use it. So let me open up a page that is not very problematic for me to show you. Okay. So let me see if I have any project. Okay. This is like from 5 years ago. And this is like this was extracted from a backup, so the notes are not very perfect. However, um, while I was reading some stuff, I would take a screenshot of some sentences and write down my notes and the person who has said it. So I have my notes here, as you can see. There might be anything else in here, so I need to be very careful before showing it to you, but anyway. So my note, and yeah, this was from a book. It's about qualitative research. So I still have my notes from 5 years ago, and oh, okay. So another way to take notes, and this goes for your sessions. This goes for your studying. This goes for your projects, presentation, graduation thesis. I think you should have this software. And Ian Lee, you took the makeup exam for the midterm, right? And there was a no, you didn't. Okay. And there was a question regarding OneNote because we talked about it before. And yeah, for example, we like I had let's say an article here and I read it. I highlighted some parts. I took some notes over here. Like my highlighting color was random. However, you could pick some colors for yourself. For example, you could choose yellow for citations, blue for, I don't know, statistics, red or orange for purple for, I don't know. Practice notes depends on your field. And then I took some notes on it, and that was my on note over here, and that is also from a few years ago as well. Good thing with OneNote is this, like even if you write with your hand over here, when you search for it, it can find it. So when you search for reflect, it can find your note reflect here. If you write a bit okay. Okay, Masood. Try opening up the Pusula again from scratch, and then you will see the course because I deleted the first planned session because it wasn't working. This is one way to do it, and yeah. And another way to take notes for literature review purposes, let's see if I have it. I didn't, but I can search for it here. So you could have a literature review metrics. So basically, you have an Excel file and you put the papers over here and your notes over here or your categories. And when you do it for more than a few papers, in the end, you will have a huge collection of notes for your research or for your project presentation. And then you can start to write something new from them. I did that in my own time and it was effective. Okay. Is there something we need to be careful of when we are taking notes? No, no, no. Yeah, again, we should check if the sources are reliable and the fact that those can be referenced for our study and the author's reliability. And depends again on the format that you are writing, whether it's a presentation or a graduation thesis. And the most important thing that you can do is to categorize them. And if you are able to categorize your note while you're writing it, then it will save you a lot of time and effort uh, in the upcoming days or in the upcoming, let's say, phases of your research or presentation or project again. Okay, so it's very important to take note of where you found the source because when you are like when you have just found a source and when you are reading something and you found something really cool for your own study or for your own project presentation, whatever, um, you're so happy that you take it, but you forget to note down the source of that paper and then you cannot find it later on. So this information is especially required for referencing, and it will also help you find the source again at a later date. So it shows here some examples of paraphrasing. We know plagiarism, right? Okay, to finish it off, to use a source correctly in our paper, we need to spend a little time understanding and making notes about the source details before writing anything. And also, like if you have found a source that is really good for your own thing, then you can check whether that author has any other let's say, papers or books related to your topic, or that journal might have the like the topics you are investigating, and the time of the publications also tell us something. For a source to sufficiently support your argument, you need to decide if it's relevant, what content will be required, and how to use it in your paper. Taking the time to make notes will help monitor your understanding and allow you to produce paraphrases or summaries that convey the correct meaning and avoid the potential risk of plagiarism. We should be especially careful when it comes to plagiarism because um, teachers, like sometimes professors do not leave any room for mistake. So if you have even 2 or 3 sentences in your paper somehow that are on the internet as they are, then you might be accused with plagiarism. And the best outcome would be to get um, 0 points. That would be the base, like that would be the best case scenario. And yeah, I think this is your first year. I think you will start to write, create, present stuff starting with the second year. And those should be a bit more higher in the last year. Maybe you'll have graduation thesis. So this is your first year, and in the first year, have you had to write anything, or have you had to present anything, or have you had to do any type of project whatsoever? Uh, Not sue you. However, they could let the faculty know of this, and there can be a disciplinary investigation conducted against you. And the worst part is, even if you beat it, like you're clean if you beat it, you have a still clean shit. But if you by shit, I mean the shit, right? And if you don't beat it, the problem is you may lose your scholarship. So you have to be very careful about everything you do at the university because it could cause you to lose your scholarship. And that's one of the most important things when it comes to reality. And please do not think that professors are not doing this. No one ever before has been accused of doing something like this. Do not trust this thing. This pattern because like when you do it, you might be shown as an example. Yeah, like you might be turned into an example for everybody else. So let's be really careful when it comes to plagiarism. Plagiarism, cheating, copying, anything you can think of. Be truthful and be on the right side, and you'll have better state of mind and you have better relationships with everyone. At another university or here, only? Oh, good. So you're not first year student here. Oh, good. And is this the last course you're gonna take or? And okay, I get it. So we're talking about all this stuff, right? Paraphrasing, like rewriting, hedging, summaries, taking notes, doing the uh, honest work. But now we have AI. So has AI affected your like the way you do your homework or the way you do your tasks that given to you by your professor? It hasn't changed anything for you right now. It changed your studying habits. Exactly. But when it comes to some serious stuff, like presentation, project, graduation thesis, or a paper your teacher or professor wants you to write, could we tell AI to do it for us? We can, of course, but what would be the result? It can create a roadmap for you if you are stuck there. But if you really read a few sources for your own thing and then take some good notes, and when it's, or you could use the brain in your head. I don't agree to that right now. It's just another tool we can use. So you read some sources and then you have, let's say, a collection of notes. And remember that those notes are only available to you. Nobody else, no other AI could write, like could take those notes and write it for you. So when you make advance, like when you use those, when you take advantage of those notes, and when and if there are cases where you can use some direct quotations that you've taken from the sources that you read and you use it in your own product, then it becomes like your own thing, and there will be no room for thinking that it was AI generated or AI written work. So for that reason, I highly suggest you do your research, read, take notes, and use those notes in your final product. In your final product. All right. So let's take a break for 10 or 15. What do you say? If we do 10, we'll let you off earlier. If 15, regular time. Okay, 10. 10 it is. Set up your timers and see you in 10. Bye-bye for now. By the way, of course, I'm here for the next few minutes if you have any questions, but others can exit. Yeah. I'm here right away. Yep.